We need to do a stream class. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Welcome to today's session. I'm excited to be sharing today's session with us. If you can hear me clearly online, please type 1 in the comment section. If you can see my screen, type 2. Welcome, Mr. Joel. Welcome, Oluchi. Welcome, Pieta. Welcome, Sugar, Priscilla, everybody. Please, Roy, come and help me mute whatever is making noise there. All right. Today we're going to be talking about how to turn online attention into real sales. This is the third installment of this training. Today is the third installment. We've done the first one, second one. The first one, this is the series on how to convert strangers to buyers. That's the series. Please check if the stream is clear. Is it clear? Very clear, right? Is it blurry? Is it clear? It's looking blurry on my end. Okay. So we're going to be talking about how to turn online attention into real sales. This is the Realtors Growth Series. Welcome back to this. We did the first installment, the second installment. This is the third one. How many of us were here last week? Okay. Priscilla did amazing. Please let's appreciate her. Appreciate her. Yeah, so this is the final part of our 3-part program on turning strangers into property buyers using social media. I'm excited to share today's session with us. We're going to be looking at concepts like follow-ups, closing, etc. When leads reach out to you, what do you do next, right? I feel like as much as, in my opinion, lead generation is literally the most important part of it, right? However, there is still follow-up and conversion, right? Follow-up and conversion will help, in my opinion, and also in my opinion, follow-up and conversion comes, your skill, ability to follow up and convert gets better with time, However, you must have leads to be able to hone your follow-up and conversion skill. Make sense? So you see that at the end of the day, lead generation is like the most important, because the more leads you have, the higher your chances of closing. It's a game of numbers. Okay. Now, so basically that's what we're going to be talking about today: the concept of concept of follow-up and closing, and how to handle objections, basically. Because in my opinion, closing is objection handling, and handling it in a way that eventually the person has no other option than to buy, right? Especially when he is interested. And we're going to, of course, talk about how to qualify people today to know who is interested, know who is not, and know how to partition them as it is. So in case you're just seeing me for the first time, for the sake of those streaming online, I'm Jeff Anozie. I'm the lead marketer at Browder Global Limited. It's a brokerage and marketing company in Abuja and in the offices in Enugu too. Our goal in Browder is simple. It's first to individuals to help them invest their money safely and profitably in real estate. And then secondly, it's also to help young people build their personal economy, leveraging real estate. So if you listen to me very well, see that real estate is not really the business. Business is helping young people and individuals leverage real estate to build their personal economy or their family economy. So real estate is like a vehicle currently. So what it means is that maybe later in life there will be other vehicles. But for now, real estate is vehicle. It's so because of course real estate rewards you like at the highest level now, right? Even as we go higher and higher. So we do this, especially for the young people, for empowering young people. We do this by through the right systems, by teaching the right systems, teaching the right mindsets. At the end of the day, you cannot earn or you cannot grow beyond your mindset per time. That's why in the first part of this series, started with what mindset and preparation, because that is like literally the most important part. If that is worked, I mean, you can try all the tricks and all the hacks in the books and you won't get results. Sometimes we come in our own way, like we come in our own way. We block our, prayer points from happening because of our mindset, right? We teach that by installing the right mindset and the right marketing skills skill set, right? And so, if you would like to work with us on a deeper level, the WhatsApp link will be in the comments, right? If you're online, and here there'll be a barcode passed around for those that want to join us on a deeper level. Nice, Zakaria. Okay, so while we dive right in, so for today we'll be learning from turning from views to buyers, right? I just tagged it like that, from views to buyers. Basically, how to turn online attention to real sales. It's not enough to have attention. You need to convert that attention to sales. Okay, that is basically what we're going to be looking at today in the next 45 minutes. If you have questions, please note them down. We're going to try and answer as much as possible. Then I'd like us, while we're doing this, if you have objections from prospects so far, just note them down so that at the point where we're handling objections, we can handle objections. I can't know everything, right? I can't know everything. So there are questions you may have, I have not encountered, so we can just try and tackle it and see how. So today is a bit of a practical day, right? Now, so let's do role play, but I'm not sure we'll have a lot of time for that, but we'll do the most we can, right? Um, so last part, we talked about showing up, becoming visible, right? That was the part two. Talked about becoming as visible as possible. I believe very strongly that your biggest obligation is to be as visible as possible, right? I mean, just be visible. Um, um, Jim Rohn says the duty of the farmer is to plant, and the duty of is the soil and the and then God that brings the increase. And of course, the Bible said, poor plants are poor waters, but God brings the increase. I am very certain that we cannot put our hands in the pocket of the clients and bring our money. However, we can be as visible as possible to those that are already looking for us. Together, yeah, because people are looking for you. People buy real estate every damn day, right? And so they're looking for someone to buy through. And I'm a strong believer that you have your tribe. Your tribe will gravitate towards you. People that are interested in you, in what you are selling, you as a person will gravitate towards you. I'm a very strong believer in that. So last part we looked at being as visible as possible, right? Because of course visibility builds trust and consistency builds familiarity. You'll remember, Bobby. So today we're now going to look at how to convert that visibility to real sales. But let's start with the concept of leads. What really is a lead? Who really is a lead? So let's start with the concept of lead. Is Onoja around? Onoja, our light has gone off. Oh. What is a lead? Who is a lead? Leads. So a lead is just anyone who shows interest in stuff. Emphasis on the word interest. Interest. A lead is not random person, it's not random people, it's someone that shows interest in your stuff, right? Now, the truth is, how do you know someone shows interest? From the strategy of marketing I teach, especially when I say attracting converting buyers, leveraging social media, a lead is now someone that reaches out to you, right? Like reaches out to you in any way, manner, or form. Okay. There are different definitions. Some people will say stuff like a lead is anyone that interacts with your content. So personally, I feel anyone can interact with your content. Your family member that's seeking a favor from you can just decide to go and like your content so that you see them and now type in the comment section, How do you used to write those things? Doing well. Well done. Well done. Is that eh? Uh, is that person a lead? Do you get? So I feel like one of the misconceptions we have normally as people that sell stuff especially online is that we sometimes, especially at the beginning, we're too desperate to get validation that we assume that anybody can interact with your stuff easily, right? So yeah, so the focus should not necessarily be on, in my opinion, for sake of sales, focus should not be on engagement. Focus should not be on engagement because that is, in my opinion, that is a vanity metrics. It's a vanity way of measuring what you're doing. Because at the end of the day, it's the popular rate. So someone that reaches out to you is a lead. Now, the truth is some leads are serious, some are not, right? But you can't tell. You don't know who is who. So just assume or we just treat everybody equally. Of course, we're going to be sharing ways to qualify leads in today's class. However, let's first understand the concept of a lead, right? Um, so so most times, and this is the foundation of sales, especially selling online. It is not usually that you're not making sales, in my opinion. It is that you're not generating enough, right? And that is why personally I think everybody should look into the concept of leveraging social media or the online space to market and look at it seriously. It's not random. These things are not random. They're things that you actually design and work and judiciously walk through the design, right? With a touch of what? Intensity. So consistency is not enough. Intensity must be added to it. All right. So leads. Um, your sales rises or falls to the amount of leads that reach out to you. Okay. So now, how do you now turn those attention? Now that they've reached out to you, how do you turn that attention into money? Now, for us that sell online, usually a couple of people reach out to you. The first set are people that I'm going to just give practical examples based on experience, right? Based on experience. And that's why I would like to also hear your thoughts on how these have approached you too. Maybe it's different. What's happening on it? Okay. Depends on how leads have approached you as well. Now, two ways. For me, I I I create content and I put out. Of course, we talked about this in last edition, right? About visibility, creating content and putting out there. Two types of people reach out to me. The first are the people that are interested in that particular. So they go through the stuff I share and they're interested in one of it. They reach out to me based on that one that they're interested in, right? So they say, Jeff, I saw your Kasana project and I want to know a little more. Or go straight to the point. I want a 250 square meter, or I want a 250 square meter. Now, those kind of leads are easier to close. They are quite more easy because you can see that this person already knows exactly what he wants. You see? So there's no beating around the bush. At that point, I have noticed that some realtors begin to beat around the bush. Like, for instance, somebody sends you that kind of thing. Next, you want to now carry all your because they told you there's a script you should send. Somebody taught you that there's a script you must follow. You now want to go and start from the beginning of that. Hello, sir. Good morning. How can I help you? I have seen it. You'll be shocked. I've seen realtors do that. Not go to the beginning just because they said. So my point here is these things are not robotic, right? There's no kind of fast rule to it. However, there's a concept behind it. Like I said, that first set of people are easier, right? Now the second set of people, which am I speaking the right English? Second set of people, of persons, or whatever. You get what I'm saying, right? That reach out to you are people that they're interested in real estate. They see what you're putting out, but they are not so sure of what they want. There are people like that. Some of them are out of touch with reality on ground. So they just reach out to you and say something like, I'm interested in buying a property in Abuja or Enugu or Jos or wherever you are. Please, if you're joining us online, can you type #live in the comment and let us know where you're from so that I can, relate to you as well. Florence, Bena, good to see you. I'm Blessing. Good to see you. Good morning, Blessing. Blessing, where are you joining us from? Okay, Abuja, nice. It's good to have you here. Right? So, um, so these ones reach out to you and say stuff like they they they're interested in investing in real estate or they're interested in buying a property in Abuja. Now, at that point, what do you do? What do you do? In my opinion, you don't beat around the bush, right? You don't give long speeches, right? You keep it simple, friendly, and human. You're not a robot, right? So the first goal for me is to understand or qualify the person by finding out what the person really wants. So I can reply with something like this. Good morning, sir. So someone asked me, one of my team members, that what if you don't know if it's a female or a male? Personally, I use sir yes. Personally. A lady, I'm sorry, correct me if I'm wrong. Ladies usually will not take offense that much when you call them sir. But a guy, now calling good morning, ma, he may even first ignore you. His ego is puffing off somewhere. He blew up like a balloon. You don't look like a woman. I don't know. This is maybe from my experience, right? I see that guys, immediately you say, good morning, man, they just attack you immediately. I mean, guy, I'm man. You know? And personally, I think doing good morning, sir, slash ma, is a copy and pasting. It looks copy and paste to me. Do you get? So you want to be as natural and as human as possible. So personally, if there are better ways, you maybe share with me. But personally, I feel like I'll just say good morning, sir. Do you get? Right. So thank you for reaching out. I appreciate you for reaching out to me because I I don't take it for granted. I mean, there are several. I'll not say all these things. Just say, oh, sorry. I'll just say thank you for reaching out. So I type it. Good morning. Sir. Thank you for reaching out. I just acknowledge that you reached out to me, right? I'm being human, I'm being friendly. And most importantly, I'm not entitled to you reaching out. You could have literally reached out to any other person. So that thank you for reaching out to just acknowledge the fact. And even when people comment on my stuff online, I like to also appreciate you. So I say something like, you ask me a question, Jeff, why is the room looking like this in the video I put online? And if I want to answer you straight, I can do it in 2 ways. I can answer you straight first, then under, thank you for what you get. The fact that you even took your time to watch and see that there was a portal somewhere, then you spent your time because time is a resource. It's a resource. You spent your time and attention for you to notice that thing. You're not just playing it somewhere and looking at another thing. You noticed it. So I just appreciate that, right? So I say thank you for reaching out. And I like to know almost immediately if you are buying for yourself or someone else. I like to know almost immediately. Even though I may say something like, what do you, I may go straight to the need analysis, but I like to deep down within my spirit, I want to know if I'm wasting my time there. Sometimes too, you may think the person is a serious lead, but it's actually a realtor, like you, you know. So it's good to just qualify before you go far. You may even go far, finish to the end of the road. You now see that is a new realtor just trying to test what you're doing, learn the process. You know, I've seen that a lot. You know, so wonder, please send me adjust this thing. No wonder. I think I was down, feeling down. Now I'm feeling up. Amen. So let's go. Right. So qualify. I like to know if you're, so I can ask something like, pardon me, I like to know if you're the one buying or presenting someone as politely as possible, right? In such a way that you don't people can, right? Because people's ego can be burnt. Oh, so you mean I cannot afford this thing? You know? So are you the one buying or you're representing someone? Okay. Now the person answers, whatever the answer is, you lie to you to your face. And that's okay. Someone lied to us up until when the documentation, it was not the document, you not a different name. Okay, but you said he now opened up at that point. I mean, thank God you bought anyway, so it's okay, right? So next is what they need, nothing they need analysis. Okay, I'm going to talk about it later, but let me just give us the formula on time so that NBAT is an NBAT formula. NBAT formula. So the first is need. The second is budget, and the third is authority. So we need to know if you have authority. You're the one, you're the decision maker. The last is timeline. Okay, last is timeline. Huh? The sequence in which you qualify your lead. So when a lead comes to you, you need to know these things like almost immediately so that you can know how to proceed. Right? And of course, we're going to just go through a typical sequence as much as possible. Right. Um, so NBAT, for those that online are not seeing, please it's NBAT, NBAT. So N it represents need, B is budget, A is authority. We need to know you have authority to you need to know you have authority to make a decision, a buy decision. You get um because sometimes they use that authority to make buying decision not as a profession. So I like to know on time. So when the time I can if it's possible to put the person has authority on a call to let's have a three-way call so that we can I can answer. So the way I say it in my mind, I know that I want to not convince. I want to get to know the challenges that will make that thing not to go through, which we'll see. We'll see the sequence of questions from the person that has authority direct. I don't want a third party translation. Usually, we need so much when there's a third party because you really do not know how to communicate the way you would have. Do you get? So those kind of things. Okay. So next, so I try to now conduct a need analysis. So I ask something like, what do you need this property for? So I want to remember he says, I want to invest, I want to buy a land or a house or property in Abuja market. And I ask something like, all right, pardon me, you you are the person buying or you're representing someone. You get authority. Okay. Next is now that he has answered, maybe he said he's one buy. Most people that have money don't take offense like people that mm, don't take offense. People that are broke usually they don't start flaring up unnecessarily. It's just a question I asked you now. Me too, I'm not begging you now. Like I am doing my business too now, right? So most of them just people that flare up, in my experience, you know? Right. So the next is then when I ask what you need the property for, I follow up immediately because people don't really understand what you ask. So I follow up immediately by saying something like, I think people were to buy and probably sell later. I don't use words like land banking. Yeah, and you're just confusing them more. So I like to keep it simple so that you let is there a challenge or not? Okay. So I like to keep it simple so that the sale can go through. Let it not be me because like I said earlier, sometimes we're the ones that come in our way. You're trying to sound smart, like you know book. Not be saying land banking, all these things, right? So I keep it as simple as possible, right? I mean, I I I rather make money than look very smart. Okay. So what do you want the property for? And I follow up immediately by saying, are you trying to sell later? Say in the next 3 to 5 years. So that I've just explained land banking without mentioning it. Or I say something like, are you looking for where to buy and build for yourself? Like where you want to move in stay in the next 1 year or 2 years. See? Or you want to look for where to buy and possibly rent out for income. Should have given you options. So you now you know why you're calling, why you're buying. Then they will not tell you, okay, so this is it. This is what I want. Now, once they answer, you keep quiet and let them answer, right? So after the answer, the next question is, okay, so what budget works for you? What budget works for you? And I follow up immediately with price ranges also. Price ranges also. So now I know my most expensive property. I know my least expensive property. I like to start with the up one. I don't want to start with the down. And then I say, okay, I now put myself on the foot. When I started my real estate career earlier, there's something that new realtors we project our limitations to our prospects. We project our limitations to our prospects. I remember then they used to say, I mean, I've caught myself several times when telling prospects something like, sir, this one is very expensive. See this one. Like, I don't understand. Like, are you me? Me? Is me? Like, why? Like, why are we projecting our limit? You know how you've never seen, I mean, not you people now. You know how they've never seen somebody buy a 500 million naira property at once. You get? And you cannot, what you've not been exposed to, you don't expect it. You've never been exposed to something, you don't expect it. And by the way, that's one of the reasons I started real estate. Real estate exposes you to good news. Like, we see that there's money in this world. Like, people have money. Like, someone can sit down and pay for 2.2 billion naira property at once. The limitation was the bank. The limitation was the bank. Like, but you know how bank, when you remove that kind of money, even the bank manager, if he's sick, you wake up. Yes, you come to you and say, is there any problem? So they used to sometimes they used to sometimes form network matter. Okay, especially towards the end of the month. If the network issue. Don't want you to put that kind of money. The limitation was the bank. Like, guy had signed the check to move the money. You get, like, you know what it is that you want to buy something that you may not use now, and it's 2.2 billion. You know how much have you? Do you get that? I thought, like, if I can put this one here, you know, real estate showed me like my mindset. The first experience I had was in 2021, I think around August. Sent me a property of, I think it was like 1.8 million or so. And the client that came to me wanted to buy 5 plots. And you know how 5 plots, my spirit was already excited. Before then, I mean, I've not seen 5 plots like that once. And so the client now, so when we walked into the office, one young boy with short, is not too young, maybe midlife, like mid towards the end of 30, early. With the short nigga and one slippers, a touchlight phone, and came and bought 29 plots at once and paid cash, like with the transfer there. So he wasn't my client though. But the way the lady said, "Oh, we received it, sir." You know how we received it, sir? Like as if a log fell off my eyes. Like wow, that kind of. So that was my first experience. Anyways, that's on the side. So let's start with the top one. Like I was saying, the top price and give you price ranges. So if my top price is like 200, for instance, I'll say something like I will have between 100 and 200 million. We also have between say 30 and 50 million. And we also have between 10 and 20 million, something. So each of these price points works. So usually when clients that open budget, because you don't ask the right questions, there's no such thing as open budget. It doesn't exist. It does not exist. So a budget. Usually they will not tell you, do you have something around 25 million? So a budget has come out, right? So budget. Don't ask the questions and leave them to assume. Like you're giving them work. Your duty is to give them as little work as possible. Don't make them feel like they're doing a lot of work. You understand? Yeah. Like make the process as easy as possible. Okay. Then um then at that point, so when they answer, personally, so now you've known their need, right? You know what they need. You've known that the person has told you that he has authority to sell, and you now have a price. Then the next thing to do is to send them a few properties within that range. So he may say something like, send, let me see, send what you have so that I can see, right? The temptation is to pack everything in your, just in case, like anyone can enter and pack all of them and dump in his WhatsApp. The thing is now reading open. The thing is now time to open. Then the guy now finally sees like 20. He may end up not opening it. I do it. So I know. I mean, don't send me 22 items, please. Like, come on now. I need that desperate for a sale. Because I don't have that kind of time. That you have time does not mean I have that. Do you get it? So, personal opinion, 2 to 3 property types. You have two good flyers that have prices, two, maybe good price points. So the price point he told you. Now, this is my strategy. I didn't learn this one from anywhere. The price point he told me, I put it at the middle and said something a bit higher and something a bit lower. That's three, right? And I send it to you. As I send you the flyer, I also craft, I don't assume that you're going to open it. You get, I also craft a short write-up, still explaining each of those, and I send it to you. Make sense? Good. Possibly also send you some videos to look at. So I have three options, right? The flyer, some video, short video, not too long, and what? And the write-up. Okay. Now you have, and then um, I like to also know when to come back. You can sit here, okay? Yes, please. We are stretching. So I like to also know to come back, right? So I see something like that's the so I now see something like okay, when do you think you have gone through so that I can take your question, so I can take your questions. You see, I'm making it look like I want to clarify you further, like I want to help you further. I'm not going to so that I can call you back or so I can people don't like stop. So I like to make it look like I want to help you make a decision. When you think I can come back to you so that I can take questions, right? Are we following? Are we bored already? I picking up what I'm dropping? Great. Right? So the end parts, right? So we've talked about the end part. Last is the timeline, right? We want to come to that. We're going to come to that. So the timeline, let me just touch on this. I don't forget. Online, if you have any questions, please let me know. I think the internet is blurry somehow. Is it just my end? Um, Lesson says, please, I don't know if it's me, but realtors isn't so clear at my end. My voice is not so clear at your end. Yes, end. I think it's clear at my end. So please, it's yours. Is your maybe earphone or whatever you're using, or increase your volume, please. I guess it's from your end. Timeline. So um, um, usually this timeline thing is used when the, let me explain it like this. When you're qualifying a deal at that beginning conversation, especially when the person is not too clear on what he wants. It's not too clear on what he wants. one of the indicators of someone that may not be ready to buy is that he's not too sure what he wants. It's one of it. It's not absolute. Sometimes it's just an indicator. That's when I play the timeline card. So I go ahead. Remember, I've asked him his budget, asked him his timeline, right? His need, need his budget, right? So when you come to me feeling vague, and even when I ask you for your need and budget, you're not still too clear because some people are like that. So I then go ahead to say something like, "So, sir, remember he has told me his need, he has told me his budget." I go ahead to say like, if I find a plot in Ye, for instance, where you said you wanted to build for rent, right? We can build an eight units of apartments within the 200 to 300 million, budget you said, because sometimes too, clients will tell you a budget that is ridiculous. Your duty is to now correct it. Your duty is to adjust it because, again, some people are out of touch with reality. Okay? So your duty too is to correct. You don't just say, okay, since he said he wants, I've seen realtors reach out to me and say, client said he wants a property. Let me give an instance in Wuye, and his budget is 20 million, right? So he's ready to buy. How? Like even you that they told you that type of thing, you now carry it and be running around. Really? This, I mean, even when his budget is ridiculous, your duty is to correct. So based on this thing you want, you're looking for, this is the price range you're going to. I go ahead and search for it. Stuff like that. So he says yes, for instance. Then that's when the timeline thing comes out. So if I find this property in this price range, right, that is suitable for this thing you want, for me, I go. You can ask it if your confidence is not good like that. You can ask it something like, "When do you think I'm close out on this, or when do you think you're ready to make a deposit or ready to make a payment?" But personally, I give a timeline. If it's a Friday, for instance, or Thursday, I say by Tuesday, by Wednesday next week, will you be available to make a deposit? Because of the timeline I'm giving, I don't like to ask, can you pay everything once? At least a deposit. So even if you want to tell me something like the bank cannot release that kind of money at once, deposit income. You see that I have killed one big objection in front. I mean, at that point, you'd almost always know if this person is ready or not. And if it's not ready, it's still okay. But you know how to, this is qualification. You know where to place the person. Am I communicating? Am I so big? Great. So that is the end strategy. Is this clear? Is this something we can try? Okay, we can implement, right? Online, is it clear? The audio is very clear. Great. And so now, remember that at this point, you're sending them materials and you have a timeline of when you will get back to them, right? So now they follow up. In my opinion, qualification is part of closing. That qualification is part of closing. Why? Because it's those information they gave you that you're going to run with almost all through the transaction. You see? So all your conversation is around, for instance, he wants a block of flats. All your conversation is around how you can make money, how that this um, see the benefits. I mean, you have to keep the benefit up and center. You can't be talking about his children. Maybe you can't be talking about land banking along the way. Make sense? So all your conversation is around that need, that his budget, and the time frame he said he wanted it. For instance, I want to start like in 3 years' time. So it's now you ought to buy it because you need to get approval if there's one. You need to do your building. You want to put yourself under pressure so that by that 3 years' time, you start getting income. So all these are front and center. And subtly along the conversation, I am still reminding you small about the things. Make sense? So closing in my opinion from the beginning. Again, this is why lots of leads is good because over time you get to this kind of conversation. Yes. And so you can literally ask my guys, see if a serious client or not, even without speaking with them. So they come with me with questions. I already know this guy. Hi, I've done this for some time. Do you get the more? But there's a principle, there's a formula, which is what we're sharing today. Now, what are the types of people that are going to reach out? Let's talk about that part because also determines how you follow up on them. Types of people. What are the types of people that are going to reach out to you? Now, I don't know if it's in this class we had that conversation about passive and active bias. Was it in this class? Was in okay. We've not had that conversation here, right? Yeah. So passive and active bias. Even though I wrote it in my book, but yeah, let's talk about it because um, understanding passive and active bias will help us know the kind of individuals that reach out to us and what we can do with them. Right? There are two ways of marketing online. There are two ways of marketing online. The first one is what? Search. Second is what? Interruption. These are the two ways of marketing online. I don't know if there's another one. Another one has come out with the advent of AI. Is there a search interruption? Maybe there is. I don't know. But these days with AI, so many things can just be happening. So these are the two basic ways I know of because almost every platform I use to market online is divided into these two. Either a search platform or an interruption platform. You know the meaning, right? Search is literal now. The meaning is very clear. These are platforms like Google, YouTube, right? These are platforms where you search. Even um, some property listing platforms are search to search based, like Property Pro, Nigerian Property Center, GG, and the rest. And by the way, you guys should try and explore some of these platforms too. Um, exhaust exhaust as many options as you can. Early days in real estate, I used GG a lot, GG.ng, those early days, you know. Even though one of the things I noticed with those kind of platforms is that they don't help qualify. Like, anyways, let's just go on so I don't digress too much. So search and interruption, we don't have a lot of time. Then the two type of people that buy things online are active buyers and passive buyers. Active buyers, passive buyers. Now, um, people that will reach out to you, I find blend of all of these people. I find blend of them. Some are, let me explain what I mean by finding. Some are searching plus active, right? Some are searching. What that means is they're actively looking for something. So they're searching for the thing and they want to buy it. They're not searching just to know the price. Yet, those are the first set of people. The second set are searching, but they are passive. They are searching plus they are passive. See that? Just, but they just want to know so that when they are now ready, they can know when to buy, or they're expecting one money somewhere. I remember a client recently that check for us. Big money, eh? Only for him to tell us when the date of the check now reached that, oh, he was expecting one money, it did not now land. So those are the kind of searching boys like he wants to buy, but maybe remember raw buyers. Yes, so he's ready, he's willing, but he's not able. You get? He's not able. So so next option. So another set of people that will reach you are interruption. These are people you interrupt. What are the platforms that are interruption platforms? Meta, usually meta platforms and TikTok. Why are they interruption? They're just scrolling through. then you intrude rudely into what they are doing. Actually, you know how you'll be watching one video on how to make money, and are you a STEM professional? Pops up. Nowadays, it's AI is not chat stupid. Have you heard they say that? Right? Or on a meta platform where you're trying to watch something and then you have to watch an ad. Like you have to just watch it. There's no interruption. It is right. So yeah, that is interruption platforms. Now, some people are interrupted, but they're active. They really want to buy. So IA, right? They're interrupted, but they're active. Others are interrupted and passive. Which of these are the most qualified to buy? Such an active, yes. These guys are the real raw, ready, willing, and able. Ready, able, and willing. They're the real raw. They're searching at the active. So imagine you have money. Person has money, money day, but he's just looking for the right channel to pass that money through. See that is easy close. Even though some of us still mess it up because we don't understand how to interact with prospects, right? We waste their time, etc. That is what we're looking at now. That's the essence of the whole conversation we're having this morning. The next are search and passive. They are searching, they may not have cash right now. They want to just have an idea. They know the importance of real estate. They want to buy. They know what they want to achieve for the raw cash flow. I actually also like those kind of people. Yeah, they know doing their research, building time and information for the buy. Even though I still prefer this first one because it give me money right now. So those are the next, you know, are they the next or IA? I think it's IA too, right? Because once you're actively looking, you're actively, but it's not like maybe at that point we're not really searching at that point. Then are you a STEM professional? That pops up. What that guy is so annoying. Eh? Are you? And this way he says, "Are you a STEM?" And he doesn't go away. Like that guy is at least studying. Like the guy has upgraded now. Right? What does he say now? Uh, AI is not Chat GPT. My God. There is other guy. He said, I am Professor. They don't go away. They are there. And these platforms force you to watch the thing, man. Like, okay, so yeah. So I think interrupted and active because you can the sale is usually easier when you're active. Like you're looking for the thing. Okay, even if you're not searching, but you're looking like you're ready for it. Then the next will be the search plus passive. You're searching, but you're not really um, ready right now. And then the final, eh? The last set of people, those that nothing concerns them what you're doing, they're not looking for you. You just pop up. That's why when they now click on your ad, they now ask you who are you? Who are you? What's your name? Oga, you saw my ad. Do you know how much it cost me? Like clicking on that, especially when you're doing conversion lead, like 2K or 1,000 something. You just need to ask me who am I? Who am me? Like, so interesting, right? You know. Now the of course the 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 people that are searching and active and the people that are interrupted but are actively they're active are the two most qualified people, right? That will buy. Now, the other people, it's not like you're going to throw them away, right? They look. we'll talk about it in a moment. So now, how to follow up right away? We're going back to the point where you've sent materials, right? Sent out materials. And how do you follow up? Do we have questions? I have devices clear. Okay, great, great, great. Yeah. Any questions online? Far? So again, I said follow up should be simple, clear, and friendly as possible. Okay. Um, so after they might have gone through, you remember probably you had an appointment, right? They told you when to reach, and say maybe they said something like, next Wednesday I'll be in town. I'd like to, then we can talk or we can see. At that point, you then ask some nice questions. The first question, personally, I like to ask, I need you to note something. You don't ask questions that will give room for it. No. Don't have to ask, and this is a skill you must learn. Don't ask questions that will elicit. Our default mode is to decline things as humans. So you try as much as you can to elicit questions, questions that in anyone you choose is yes. For instance, what do you love most about this property? You love something, no, but which one do you love most? Or what do you like most? Or what interests you most about about this? So that's the first question person like to ask. What interests you the most? So you can tell me all the things that interested you, but I want to know the first one. Okay? Then you listen for answer. The next question can be something like, what are that? So he tells you all the things excitedly what that he wants. Sometimes he will pick up the question immediately. But I want to ask, you pick up the question immediately. So your duty is to answer all questions as politely. In fact, the more the question, the better. For me, you start asking more questions, I already see you like you're interested. You're a good close. So the more the questions, the better self, right? So your duty is to calm down, settle down, and answer all the questions as promptly, lightly, and friendly as possible. Okay. When after all the questions, I still ask something like, what other questions do you have, right? And the more questions they ask, the better for you. And at the end of the day, when the questions are all answered, and everything is okay, all the room will now go quiet. That is more physical room. So, so at that point, if it's plot, person, I go straight for the close. How many plots? So two ways to ask that question. How many plots should are we closing down for you? Or how many plots are we buying? I like to say, are we buying? I'm not saying are you buying. This is my style. Like, how many plots are we buying so that we can lock it down indeed, right? So I'm not asking, are you still buying? No, no. How many plots are you buying? Or if I have, if we have a site plan that has plots available, I usually mark some areas. So I use screenshot and circle some areas. This side or this side. This is the road. So I'll show the road. This side or this side. Which side do you think is more? There's no no there now. There's no no. You just choose one. Say, okay, I'm looking at once you answer, like I'm looking at, I am sending you account details and send immediately. Sometimes I ask you for first name, email, phone number, first name, email, phone number. First collect that one first. Then send some for and send account details so that you can make your payment, right? Right. And watch out for the response. So this is closing. This is going for the kill. There's no for the kill. Right. So at that point, you would know at that point if the prospect is a one, a three, a two, whatever it is, you know at that point. Okay. And if you have any question or objections, also read the body language. I like to use the body, so the other tools in my arsenal I like to use after here are the plan and formal, right? After here, especially when it's it's a one or a two client prospect, right? I like to use the payment plan. So he now goes something like, okay, I like this, right? That will be how much? Of course, thank God for what they call it for iPhone. In the chat box there, you can chat, you can do the this plus this and send, and it just shows a good breakdown of the cost, right? The total cost. Because me, I don't like to just push one plot. I like to push three or more to get, and they let you now you down now reduce it right for one, but push as much as possible. Okay. And then at that point, you now this body language, you now tell if I use the payment card or promo cards. And when I say promo, whether you're selling for yourself or a company, the company doesn't have to have a promo for you to use it, right? You can come up with your own promos. So depending on the body language and what the client responds at that point, you can decide to say, okay, okay, so we you already know there's a payment plan. You can push it up. Okay, so we have a payment plan. I personally like to make it look like a tool I pulled. Like, so what if we do a 30% down today and expect the balance in the next 3 months from something like that? Still trying to ensure that there is barely no other objection, right? And then he now says, okay, something like, okay, that would be had an extended time. Then I can pull a promo tool there. So for those that pay within, like, so if you're paying within 2 months, there is a refrigerator for you, something like that. You get there's a refrigerator for you, which we can actually send to your siblings or anybody you choose. Something like that. You guys used it recently. I had to send rice to Bini. Did you have plans before you asked that guy that? She did it recently and sent rice to Bini. Started making calls. Who is in Bini? To give rice to one, which village is that one? Like that. You have to look for somebody that climb bike and start going. Anyways, yes, you can pull those kind of tools. So and the guy doesn't really need the rights. Do you get? But it's just, it's for me it's a closing tool. To the client is your good, but for me it's a closing. To the client, it's just a gesture from you. Do you get that? Right. And at that point, usually, like I said, from here, I feel like depending on the flow, you can now know what to do. The goal, the point about follow up is to follow up from a standpoint of value and not from a standpoint of, so how far now? Like, when are you buying? No. Like, are you going for this or are you going for this? Are we doing an acre or are we doing, these 5 plots around here? It's what I'm doing. I'm not doing, are you still buying? Did you get? No, no. Or are you still paying? No. I'm sending the account details and I'm telling you that, okay, we can do, and I go ahead. I don't just, I try to go ahead to break down the payment plan. If you pay 15.8 million today, by this time next month, you can now pay this. I remember when we started doing payment plan on flyer. That's what that's what came up with that. That's how that thing came up, right? Because I realized that again, you don't put work on the clients. They will forget to do it and forget you self entirely. So you try to reduce the work as much as possible for the clients. See that? Like if it's possible, self to take his phone and make the transfer. Do you get like as much as possible? I don't send, how some people send flyer or social form that have accounts there. No, yeah, I copy the account in such a way that you can just copy and paste on your app and make transfer. Yes, I won't sit on the flyer and I'll go and copy it. No, 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 no. You're giving the guy extra work. So when you think of how to get the pin, paste and pin, paper and pen and something that takes his attention, start crying. You see, or his village people don't remember him at that point. So as much as possible, you make the work as simple as possible for the clients. Okay. Now, what of when they are not ready immediately? Some people are not ready immediately, right? And that's okay, right? All these questions you've asked, all these tools you have pulled, they're not still moving. And that is fine. So this is why you should know the category of people that buy real estate that will reach out to you. The knowledge of them and what to do will help you as well. Um, um, so when the person is not ready, for me, first of all, just ensure you save my number. Ensure you save my number. So if you reach out to me on WhatsApp, or if you reach out to me through a call, find ways to send you something on WhatsApp. You get, I say something like, even though, so let's say for instance, at the end of the conversation, the guy says something like, send me material so that I'll look at, then I'll come back to you. And if you tell me when to reach out to you, because even when you tell me I'll come back to you, you'll come back to me, I would ask you, when can I call you? Like, what time of this Wednesday should I call you? Something like that. I don't want to rely on you reaching out to me. Don't worry, don't use your memory. I'll use my own. Did you get? Then when they say when they now say so, when they now say, like, "Okay, just send me materials, I'll look at." And I say something like, "Kindly say hi on WhatsApp," and I'll feel. Even when me I know I'll see forward, people like say hi or not. But I'm pushing my ability to make you save my number. Because as much as I remember, WhatsApp, you have to save the number, right? Say hi or something. Or you send to so that when I send you the thing, you will know who sent it. I don't have control over that, but I try to ensure that I do something that make you say hi to me. And if I wait tomorrow, you not say hi, me, I will send it to you. No pride in collecting money, right? So and then also ensure that they're within your community. When I say community, I mean your wherever they met you on YouTube, they're there. You have to um um what's the word? Posting, like keep appearing, because one of the ways to follow up is to consistently do what you've always done for the person who have found you. Yes, it's a very, very, very serious way to follow up. The moment you disappear, forgets you. Of course, he's looking for someone else. He's looking for what he's looking for. He's looking for what he's looking for, you or not. You see that? Yeah, so that's one of the ways. I ensure that you are within my radar, my WhatsApp status. I use my WhatsApp status a lot to follow up. I like to make it feel like I am still in the game. So I go on site inspections, I carry people to site, or I visit sites myself, or there's a new happening somewhere, or whatever it is, or there's a promo, or there's an event, I like to update it so that you will see it. The more you see it, the more. Like, I was so happy when Kutu Abuja did their flag off. I got a lot of leads from Kutu, and for a period of time, nobody was closing. Do you get? So when they now did that thing, of course, I put a few sales before them, but I had a lot of leads. I could just video the whole thing and put it out there, even though I was I made sure that I updated the event. So you see that you're interested in happening, things are happening there. Oh. And the more things happen, you know how value goes up and stuff like that. So those are follow-up strategies as well, right? And so instead of other things to do, so other things to do as a wrap up. So instead of saying things like, "Have you decided now, sir?" Yeah, like you come back to the client and I say, "Have you decided?" Instead of saying things like that, you can simply just share updates. The goal again is to follow up value. So share updates on things like update on site. You can make a video. If you personally, I don't like broadcast personally, but it's not bad. It's not like it's bad, but personally, I don't like it. But if you can make videos of updates to prospects that were interested in that particular property, like building approval is out, for instance, you can take a copy of that building approval and share with them. So building approval is out. What that means is that development will start from the site immediately. And for each block placed on the site, it is value. You get something like that, price increase and all of that. Things like I don't like discount sales too, or things like discount sales. Right? My personal reason for not liking discount is that those that now bought before then, they feel bad. You get, and if you keep doing discount sales all the time, people that bought from you, people that usually like to buy from you, will always want to wait promo. They will not buy again till Christmas. Throughout the year, they will looking at you. Plus that feeling of I just and now the price has come down. This is not fair. I don't like sales. Rather, what I do is I give incentives. So that money for that discount, I'll turn it to a gift. So the price is the same, but I now attach a gift to it. Yeah. And that's personally what I do. It's the same thing, but psychologically it's not. The price is the price. Do you get? And if a loyal buyer worry too much, you give him the gift too. Simple. Everybody is. But if a loyal buyer complain, will you can give me a discount? Will not give me a refund? Do you get? Sometimes I feel these things are common sense, but apparently it's just in my head, right? Just in my head. I don't like discounts. I don't like it. I feel like it kills the morale of those that have bought from you, especially those that bought not too long. You get, yeah, personally. So I don't use it at all. I don't use discount at all. I would never give, no. I'd rather give you a gift, right? That kind of follow up. So the point of follow up is to follow up with value. So make it look like I'm reaching out to you so that you don't miss out on this, or so that you don't pay extra tomorrow, or so that you don't. I mean, there is this thing accrued to you, but you need to take this move so that you get it too. You get, and not from a point of view of I'm waiting. You get. So that's, I mean, it's something. Um, all of this conversation is now that leads. Remember the definition of a lead. Now that leads are reaching out to you, what do you do? First, you qualify them, right? You ask what they want, of course. Find out if they are, what's it now? They have authority to buy. Their budget. Then next, please limit the options you show them. Don't share with them a lot of things. You will confuse them. See too many things, they get very confused. That's why those flyers that used to have like 20 and have properties on top. I don't share it ever because they're confused. Which does start from. Do you get? So, but when you qualify them, you already know their need. So you create things within their need and send to them. What next? Next, you of course answer their questions when they have. Answer the questions politely, friendly, and from a standpoint of value. Okay, help them choose based on this you said. Okay, this is what I think, what you and then guide them to pay. Don't assume they know what. Guide them to pay, right? Literally, if possible, like I do a couple of times, I send this information, then I'll fill the form for them. I don't stress yourself, just send it to me. I fill the form, right? And then, like I said, if possible to make the transfer for them, right? And this is how strangers become buyers. This we have come to the end of today. Um, I've come to the end of today, basically. So, in summary, from the top, from last week, from last 2 weeks, visibility brings people to you. Visibility brings people to you. Value keeps people with you. Consistency makes people trust you. Follow up helps them make a decision because you need to help people make decisions. Um, Qualification saves you energy, time, right? Closing helps them take action. And this is basically how we turn strangers to buyers. This is where you clap from. I'm going to try and expand this class and make it more, maybe in a course or in a book. The idea of teaching this class was to actually get your feedback so I can convert the book or the course. So this is where you ask questions. If you have any objectives that you feel clients have asked you for, or you feel there's something that was not clear, please ask so that I can try. So yes, please. Okay. So visibility brings people to you. People have to see you to be able to reach out to you. Value keeps people to you. You know, one of the things I was saying, I said in that class was that you have to, as much as you're visible, you have to also thrive to become the preferred option. You thrive to become the preferred option, and you do that through value, right? So you're not just being visible, you're being valuably visible. So value keeps people with you. Consistency makes people trust you, right? It just makes them know that you'll be there. You're here, right? You're here. You're going to be here. Buying properties like a line thing. They don't know when they see you available. But when you're off and on, like NEPA light, the trust will reduce, literally, right? So consistency makes people trust you. Then follow up helps them make decisions. Sometimes they're confused, and then asking the right questions and then guiding them helps them make decisions. Okay, qualification saves you energy and time. You don't want to, you don't want to, you don't want to put energy and your emotions and time in the wrong direction. Now find out at the end of the day there is a new realtor. You know, or is someone that is just he's been bored at home and decides to send you a message. And to you, lead don't come, people should come, lead and come. So qualification saves you time and energy. Then closing helps them take action. Closing is when you push those options. So do you want this side of the estate or this side of the estate? Do you want the card? Do you want the push notice, payment plan thing, initial deposit thing, all those things. They're closing. Then take action. We are procrastinators by default. They're procrastinators normally by default. Even when we want this thing, last minute, you know, and this is basically how you turn strangers to buyers, leveraging the internet and social media. Okay, so is there any, good morning, Miriam, good to have you here. Is there any question for me? Any,
I have.
yes. Question?
Yes. Thank you very much, sir.
Yeah.
So one of the major challenges I've passed through is when someone, after you qualified him or her, still tells you something like, let me reach out to either my wife, my husband, or let me reach out to my siblings. So a friend reached out to me, he's not, and he likes the location. But because he's not here, he now says, let me reach out to my family that is in Abuja here so that they will what should you do
It's
at that
okay. They should
point?
reach out to them. They should come and check out the place, right? There's a trick around that. It's important to align with that their relative. So you get the relative. That's what I mean. I'm not saying everything in black and white, but align. So first, it's okay for them to send someone. It's a case where they need the person to that mic on. I will not be pressing it. In a case where you need the person to make a decision, is it a case where they need to talk to the person to make a decision, or they want to send the person to come and view the place? So personally, I like to say, can I get on the call with them? Is it okay we get on a three-way call? Like, what time works so that I can get on a you and your brother? Yeah, I want to speak to the brother myself. I won't say that, but I'll say something like so that I can take his questions directly. There may be concerns and questions he has. I want to take. It's okay. Yeah, so get on the call with them. If it's a wife, oh, beautiful. If you are married, I also say something like myself too. I don't take this from my wife. So if it's okay, if you can get your wife to call, what time works so that we can do a video call, me, you, and your wife. There, you know if that thing is an objection or he's discharging you. If he's discharging you, say no, don't worry, I'll talk to her. I'll get back to you. But if it's truly a genuine, real objection, what is there to get on the phone? Except she's huh? Not talk. Maybe needs to use the sign language or something. Do you get? So yeah, get on the phone with them. Personally, I like to get on the phone. Any other another question? Yeah, question online. Thank you, sir, for this session. Please, sir, how do you follow up someone that reaches out to you after telling you that he's looking for a landlord and doesn't reply you anymore? So a few things. How did you respond to the person? These things I said now, did you do any of them? Did you bombard the person first? Did you qualify the person? Because most times I see that, especially new realtors, so excited to get to us. Especially when you see a phone number, and see the in your mind. Eh, you know? So did you qualify the person? What does the person really want? All right. What does the person really want? Did do you have or did you show you have capacity to deliver on that thing the person wants? These are questions we need to know. Because sometimes we flop it on our end. They're not ghosting you. You didn't just qualify enough sometimes. So if all these things you did, see that follow up and closing there is critical. It's critical. First, you need to learn. I teach my people. You need to learn to detach your emotions from the outcome of that. Once you can master that, you're optimistic, but you're detached from the outcome. It could be a yes or a no. It's okay. Get that? Because sometimes we're so emotionally attached to the outcome of this thing unintentionally. You show desperation. You show anything they say, yes, sir. Let's run like this, yes, sir. Let's go like this, yes, sir. People don't like desperate. He that has, more is given. He that does not have, the one he has is taken and given to the one that doesn't, that has more. That thing simply is a case of desperation versus confidence. You see that? So I feel like some of this come to play. They're underlining things, but they are there, right? And then when all these things like haven't done all to stand, then stand. They now do the following part, like haven't done all this qualification, all this understanding the buyer's journey. Like, what is this buyer really wanting? Do you get? You have to first set out to understand that. Not I need the property in Abuja, for instance. Now pack everything in the person's pattern. You get? He is now afraid that if you ask another question now, you go and pack another thing and dump on the person, right? So the goal is to try to reach out to you, be responsive. I think that's another thing I should say. There's a lot here. Oh. The another thing is to be responsive. So many people respond after 48 plus, for 48 and a half hours. And you say, oh, sorry, I was offline. Sorry, my MB was off. He has reached out to someone else now. And some people don't some people are not very assertive. They don't have to tell you no. So they'll just ignore you and leave. You see, there are many things inside. Now, assuming that all these things are taken care of, you're responsive. We talked about this in our day one. Day one, you're responsive. All these things are there. Your mindset is correct. Like your mindset towards the thing is correct. You're leading from a position of value and not a position of just transaction, right? And then all you've qualified, you gave the deep price range, you didn't bombard the person, and you're following up correct. You're saying, sir, how far now? Sir, so that thing I said, how far? You're not saying that. Of course, I assume all of you know what I'm saying now, right? Right. And then he still ghosts you. It's okay. Like he's somewhere here. Do you get? It's possible too that you interrupted a guy that was sleeping and he's a passive buyer. And because he didn't want to be rude to you, he responded to you. Do you get? So what do you do at this point? You keep him in your loop. Do you get? You show up regularly. You owe the prospect to show up regularly. You owe the prospect to update your stuff as often as possible. You show the prospect to be consistent as well as a touch of what? Intensity. You need to show the prospect that you're actually in this business. Because let me tell you what happened to me not too long ago. A prospect reached out to me for a property, Falcons Gate, when we're selling Falcons Gate. Early times we're selling Falcons Gate. So the guy reached out for Falcons Gate, asked for everything, document everything. The place has a C of West, a C of O, very good place, everything. Sent him everything, sent his lawyer investigated, everything was good, checked the box, and he went mute. Me, not me, they used to go mute for me, I will ask that be to consign me. I would update my stuff, I would make sure I update my status for you. For these people that are mute, let's update my status. It's for them, right? It's because of them. Let's update my status. Because people are addicted to status. The person that ignored you now, check on your status list. Second to view, he will not still respond to you. He will even put it on not read, what that like you don't even know when he read your chat. But check your like number two, you know. So we did all of that. Then when we now started marketing Highlands, and the first time the price was going from 3.750 to 4.5, I posted it on my status. Of course, I go to sites and because I go to sites, I make my videos and I post it there. And he sent me a message. He now said, "This one, the 250 square meter is how much?" And I told him, he said, "But I've sent him account before." And he said, "Okay." He just said, "Okay." I went to copy that account. I sent him again, pasted it. Yes, pasted it, and I asked him, "How many plots do you keep for you?" Okay, I'll do this. Boom. Within less than an hour, he has made his initial payment. Yeah, made his initial payment less than an hour. And then deal is, you see, now he was ghosting me. Oh. Do you get? So imagine I did not update my status. I wasn't showing up. Do you get? Till date, I views my status almost all, right? So that kind of person. So your consistency can even close them. All right. I hope I answered you. I hope I answered you, Emperor Realty. Oh, to the bear. Yeah, to the bear. Any other question, guys? What other objections do we know this last week? We have about 7 minutes, 2 minutes more. Yeah. Mm. It's not a serious client. She asks that clients that fix site inspection and goes to. I mean, recently, not too long ago, maybe 3 months ago, a client asked me to come to, there's a property at Google marketing. It's almost there. I said, okay, let's meet at that Lokodima. What's the name of that? Ebano. Good. Let's meet at Ebano so that we can go there together. Waited there for 1 hour plus. I told you about it. I waited there for 1 hour. Guess what this guy was still saying? Ah, you soon see me. You soon see me. Ah, very soon you'll see me. 1 hour plus. He said it's very close. Oh. Very soon you'll see me. I was waiting another 20 minutes. Oh, very soon you'll see me. I did not still show up. I now sent a message. I'm leaving now. I said, not respond. Did not now respond again. So I drove up. Around maybe 1 hour again, or as I got to the office, and I sent him a message again. Do you see when do we schedule the inspection? Because me, I'm again, I'm used to these things. You will get it. I feel like I even get more objections than I think they have objections. Yeah, you will get it, right? So I sent him a message again, and he goes to the date. Guess what? He's on my status, still viewing, and I'm happy he's there. Just be there. The day you now finally want to buy, I'm the one that will be on top of your mind, right? Otherwise, you're going to refer me. So just be there. Again, detach yourself from the outcome emotionally from the outcome as much as possible, while still maintaining optimism. While you're not pessimistic, your body language will show if you're pessimistic. You get so you're optimistic, you're following the process, or you're emotionally detached as much as possible because you know it can either be a yes or a no. Once you understand the law of averages, once you understand the law of averages, you know that the number of leads you get, you close. There's number of leads you get that it close will come. A number of leads, so you're sure that it will close, you will close. However, have you gone through the nose? The nose will come, the one yes. Nose will come, the one yes. So usually now the amount, so your ability, how often you close deals is a direct reflection of how many per time. So my leads are like attracting leads are like so yeah, you're going to get that a lot. People are going to ghost you. Some people even say that you will see me now. They ghost me in the bank too now. Like I'm in the bank making transfer. You're in the bank making transfer. That was April. Till date. Like, why can't you just say you will not buy? Yes, they're not assertive. They don't know how to say no. Some people don't know how to say no. So it reflects even and they feel like they wasted just they say child. Especially relatives, especially friends and family. They not tell you to bring the form. You not fill form finish. They not tell you that don't worry about this time next week. She should anyway. Then either they start avoiding you or they just keep posting you, drying you on the line, hang you on dry line under the sun. Yes, you're going to face that with you. And again, the one that we buy may not even have money, like the one you buy. So your duty is to first don't project your limitations on your prospects. Don't assume that because you wear good shoes that has money wears good. Don't assume that at all. Treat everybody equal with utmost respect as much as possible. You must discipline yourself to get to that point. Even if it doesn't speak good English, even if it's smelling. Then two, detach your emotions as much as possible from the outcome. I've said this like how many times? It's something you must learn because it shows from your voice, it shows from the way you approach things. The emotions is too attached, you're desperate. And it shows, it reflects, right? Your duty is to take charge of the conversation, not the other way around. You push like this, yes. No, your duty is to take charge and ask the right questions. Do you get like all these things we just said now? Confidently ask me, right? And then you're still going to get people that are going to hang you. It's fine. So you're just next, next person, please. Next person, please. And this is why you must have a lot of leads. You can't have 5 leads that are useful. 5 leads that are in your inbox since months ago. 5. And inside the 5 now, 3 of them look serious to you. And they're giving you that rope to be drawing you. Doesn't mean they're going to buy. Do you get so just get as many and that's it. So we just come to the end of the day. Any other question?
Yes.
There's one more question. Okay.
So objection. When you are thank you so much for the classes, so for the lesson they are really, really impactful. So when just meanwhile, before I go into the question, you broken down. I'm going to ask you a question. You told me what to do to this guy has been in my DM for like a week now on one
Okay.
property, and I think think I know what to do
You
now.
don't
Thank
know
you
what
so
to
much.
do. Great.
Exactly. Yes. So when you've told the prospect everything, all of that, and they come with this about it, that
Mm.
particular objection, how do you respond to that?
So again, I try to ask you if you have any questions. Like, how can I help your think? Like, how do you make your decision faster? Like, what challenge do you still have that I can answer, or so that your decision is faster? Whether you're buying, like, I'm not saying it like that, whether you're buying or not, I just want to know so that you can get this out of the way. You get. So, what, like, I just try to prove, is there any question you still have or concern? I don't like to use the word challenge or problem, question or concern that you still have that I can address. Then when they still insist that let me think about it, okay, that's fine. And then you, so me, I try to create a level of urgency. The last week of November, right? So I try to say something like, with a very, so think about, like, it, of course, maybe a bit of material, like, or ethic can come in there, keep it in case there's any other question he has, and I'll add that. And because of the rate of demand on this property, there's a chance that either it is not available by next week, by weekend of next week, or the price would have increased. So while it's around, I want you to also note these, right? And by the way, here's the account details. These are the information we would need to prepare your documents. And I drop it for you. Whether you use the account or not, it's free to just copy and paste account. So here's the account details, and you can actually start with 30% payment because at that point you can introduce all those promo. I believe that at that point you introduce all those things. If you don't introduce it, you can. This is now a good time to think about it. So while you're thinking about it, we have a limited slot for payment plan. You get, we have a limited slot for payment plan. You get those that are paying within this period can drop to 30% now and spread balance within this. All right. And if you're paying before the end of this, have a gift item for you just to push you a bit more. You get, just use this personal and put it there. Put it there, for them. Then drop the account. And these are the information we need. So the way I do it, I list the thing, full name, email, number. You get those things. And just give you this information we can probably start preparing your use this to prepare your document. I'm trying to let you know that you're buying. But this information we use it to prepare your document. Something like that. Yeah.
Thank
Yes,
you.
yes, yes. One. So let's go so that we can close. We've stretched a lot today, right? Thank you so much. This today we've come to, with this, we come to the end of today. And again, if you want to work with us on a deeper level as a realtor, the information to join the chat group is in the comment for those online, for those here. Of course, you get the information. We would meet again next week, Thursday. We have these trainings every Thursday by 10 a.m. Um, right here, both online and on. Thank you so much for coming. Hope I earned the value of your 1 hour, 34 minutes. Yeah, thank you and enjoy a great day.